I've got it. According to AI, the Hunger Games are called that because they serve as a punishment and a form of entertainment for the capital, highlighting the power imbalance between the capital and districts. That doesn't make any sense.
So the Hunger Games, the districts, they need food. The capital, they need entertainment.
Oh my gosh, you're
Therefore,
so right.
They're both hungry, but for different things.
That's so... Queen, you're AI. So
I'm the AI now.
Because they said it's entertainment for the capital, but food is how they control. So it's metaphorical hunger as well as the hunger of the tributes in the arena is not just physical, but also the metaphor for hunger for freedom, justice, and survival that drives them to fight for their lives. And the victor's reward is food supply. So you will no longer be hungry.
Although I didn't really feel that. Like, I didn't really feel like, oh, my people, they're eating now. Katniss and Peeta, they've eaten. I didn't really feel that.
Yeah, I didn't feel it that much either.
I feel like I would be eating so many portions. Like, you wouldn't be able to get me off the table.
That's so funny. You know what? Facts. I feel so excited to talk about Catching Fire. Like Hunger Games, I get it. She was there. She was a moment. She was an icon.
She was an icon, a legend.
But Catching Fire?
Catching Fire is the reason why I believe sequels really sometimes are better than the first one. Exhibit B, Shrek 2.
That's what I was going to say. When someone asks me, what are the best sequels that exist?
What
are the best sequels that exist?
You are so
Shrek?
Flip-flopping. I swear to God.
What do you mean? Shrek 2 is good.
It is. It's better than the first one. Anytime I bring that up, anytime I say Shrek 2 is better than the first one, you immediately are like, no.
No, I've never. You're gaslighting me because I've never said that. I said I love Shrek 1. I know Shrek 1. I am Shrek 1 too. I bleed and they take my DNA, the letters that it'll spell out is the entire script to Shrek 1. I love that movie. Shrek 2 is pretty good too.
No! Shrek! What you just said, that's me for Shrek 2. Oh my God, I remember so vividly. I had to go to the dentist. Walked into the dentist. They were playing Shrek 2. I took a picture. I sent it to the group chat and I was like,
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2, a masterpiece.
You need to
the
find
best Shrek. Dude, that was so long ago.
It is a good Shrek.
The best Shrek. Period.
I feel like when people online go like, I'm such a mood reader. I get it, Queen. You think you're that.
Oh my
you don't
God.
know. I'm not just talking.
You're the gaslighter now.
No, I feel like I am so... Everything I read and how I feel really depends on my mood. Because sometimes I read the worst possible thing ever, and then a few days later, I'm like, wait, did I experience art? Did I experience art? Mm-hmm. And that's what it means to be a mood reader. That's what it means. A mood interpreter.
TM.
I know. It's hard. It's a lonely...
Aww, pobrecita.
Okay. It's a lonely path which I walk. Hey, can I have a pillow?
Yes. Do you want Hello Kitty?
Yes.
So, what the hell are we talking about?
That was our first fight. Okay, let's go ahead and break it down. Who was right, who was wrong, and why was it me?
Me, obviously.
I'm excited to talk about Catching Fire because I feel like I think it was a little bit shorter than the first book, but so much more happened.
And that made you so excited.
I'm so excited. I read it in one sitting, couldn't put it down.
You did not sleep because you were reading this.
I couldn't stop. I tried to. I saw the clock at like 1:30 and I'm like, okay, one more chapter. One more. And I kept doing that.
Till you finished it.
Yeah.
Before we get started, spoilers ahead. A. B, we do have book clubs, which you can find at the Book Fix Pod. This month, we're just doing the Hunger Games, so our book club book is going to be Songbird. Mm-hmm. A Ballad of Songbird and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. You can find it on Fable and Goodreads, which we also have a link tree.
Yeah, we also have a link tree. You can find it at linktr.ee/thebookfix.
Do you think continuing our Hunger Games journey, do you think that can fix your life?
Yes, I do.
Welcome to another episode of the Book Fix podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one sequel at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. I read this book when I was younger.
I did not.
I wonder, do you feel like you would have liked it if you read it when you were younger?
I think so. I think I would have been into it, but it just didn't land on my lap. So
okay,
it's
that makes
interesting
sense.
for me to read it as an adult because I do wonder, like, how would younger me have felt about this?
Yeah.
Can I just say, before we even say anything else, I blame Twilight.
What do you mean?
Stephanie Meyer.
What did she do?
I'm watching you, girl.
What did she do?
I blame Twilight for the reason as to why this trilogy desperately needed to have a love triangle.
Oh, yeah. It was the team thing. That's when the whole Team
Gale,
Edward.
Team Peeta, Team Edward,
Yes.
Team Jacob. We don't need it, okay?
We don't
This
need
one
it.
did not need it.
No, because...
Dare I say, I feel like Katniss was giving a little bit of asexual vibes to me.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of when she spoke about what she wanted, she often said she never wanted to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And when she spoke about how much she cared about Gale, it never felt romantic until he started hinting he wanted that.
Until he was literally like, I love you. Oh,
Slay.
oh, I didn't notice.
Period, king. Yeah, you know what? I never really thought about it like that. But I guess what they wanted was someone who was like lacked emotion, who had to learn how to love again.
Mm-hmm.
But she was a very emotion-filled person.
She was more emotional in the books, definitely. But between Gale and Peeta, what I did like about both of them was that I felt like they were both on the opposite sides of the spectrum.
Of men.
Of just like how they were. Like, Gale was so like...
Hates bread.
No, like, wants to fight against the Capitol with whatever is needed. Violence, okay, I'll do it. I'll do whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And Peeta is more like, no, let's lead with love. Let's lead with love, compassion, and let's think about it a little bit more.
Oh, let me just look for my piece of bread in this. Oh,
there's going to be a lot of bread jokes, all coming from Cheli.
You know that in the first episode, I made a lot of sourdough jokes, not realizing that his name was Peeta. Like the Peeta.
Like literally. I was thinking that too, but I didn't want to mess with your
flow,
your rhythm.
I'm glad that you brought up the whole relationship thing early too, because I want to say that anytime she had that moment of like, is it gonna be Gale? Her only sense of like love for him was always, we will always have each other's back.
Mm-hmm.
And in the point where they kiss in this, it's because he kisses her.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kind of is there. And he's just like, I'm sorry, I just had to do it once. Sorry about that. And then never brings it up again. But she doesn't really, it doesn't change anything in her.
It doesn't really mean much to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like, okay, now he kissed me. Cool.
Because she could be a romantic. Is that what it is? Where you're more into someone because of like the romantic attraction to them. Because in book 1, she does mention in this book, like, out of all the kisses that she had with Peeta, only one of them meant something.
If I was Peeta, I'd be like, my heart. When all of those kisses meant so much to him.
I rated them all. I wrote a story about each one. Yeah, but I don't know. I just saw that there was no real competition. Like, even as a child, I was like, she's gonna end up with Peeta. Like,
really?
Yeah, I didn't see Gale as like a...
For me, there was a moment in Catching Fire when getting more into the plot, like now that Katniss and Peeta won the Hunger Games, and now they're, living more lavishly, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
She does bring up that, Snow visits her. And Snow, what is he? The
President.
President Snow, thank you. So President Snow visits her, and he basically is like, did you mean to start a rebellion? Because people, after what you did, after the stunt you pulled, you know, people are starting to like riot and it's starting to incite something, right? And he's kind of like telling her, but you actually like Peeta, right? Like you like him because if you don't, then we're going to have a problem.
And it's funny because by this point in the book, she has not talked to Peeta since the end of the first Hunger Games, like when they came back because of that fight that they had.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, yeah, totally. We love each other all the time.
Yeah, I see him every day.
But it kind of, it makes sense why they don't live together yet. Only because when they were interviewing the victors, I guess Katniss's mom was like, oh, but she's too young to date.
Yeah. She's only 16.
Yeah.
And so I do really like this internal monologue that she has where she's just like, oh my God, I'm going to have to pretend to be in love with Peeta for now. No, I'm going to have to pretend to be in love with him for the rest of my life. Like everyone's going to be looking at me because obviously the Hunger Games happens every year and she's going to have to be the mentor and they're going to be analyzing their relationship.
And Haymitch is the one that brings it up. He's like, you think it's over with this? You're never escaping this. Yeah. You will always be a source of entertainment to them.
Yeah, so I did like that conversation. Where it's like, wait, do I like him or not?
Can I bring up, though? Yeah. A little weird of a president to be so into teenage boy drama.
Yeah. I was thinking, how is them being together going to stop people from rioting? Like, it's still going to happen. Like, whether Peeta and Katniss are in love, it doesn't really matter anymore. Yep. So.
Oh, they broke up. And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, damn. And here
They're
I was
also 16.
Gonna storm.
They're also 16.
Yeah, and I think everyone would just assume, like, oh, they're too young to really know what love is. Yeah. So.
It was weird. That's a weird thing to me where he brings up, like, I know about the kiss.
It's because he doesn't have telenovelas.
He loves the tea.
He doesn't have reality TV shows. He doesn't have The Bachelor.
He sits down with his cup of tea and then he puts it down. He's like, okay, girl.
My shit's on.
Okay, girl. Tell me about Gale.
Oh, yeah. And then he's like, by the way, I saw the kiss.
I saw the kiss. Pretty mid, if you ask me.
Between her and Gale. Yeah. I thought that was juicy.
Oh my God. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it.
Juicy because everyone thinks Gale is her cousin.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well.
So then she immediately is like, we gotta get out of here. They're gonna kill everyone. Because then President Snow threatens Gale's family. And so then Katniss goes to Gale. It's Sunday and they're like hunting. And she says like, remember when you said, let's run away together? What if we did? And he's
not bringing up the kids part.
Yeah. And
he wanted to have kids.
He's so down. He's like, okay, when are we doing it? How are we doing it?
He's so excited. He's just like, yes, I'm so down.
You and me. Oh my God.
But then she brings up, well, yeah, hopefully Haymitch is
down.
Is down. And he's like, whoa, who's coming? Hold on.
Haymitch.
Who's in the party here?
No, you don't get it. It's you, me, our entire families, Haymitch, Peeta's entire family. And I actually invited this guy I met down the street. Everyone's coming. All of District 12 is coming. How do you not understand this? And so then he asked her.
She also wants to run away because she doesn't want to be like this symbol, this Mockingjay. And it's just like scaring her.
Yeah. Doesn't he ask her like, would you run away with me or with him? Like, had it been me in that Hunger Games, would you have ran away with, like, she like puts a whole scenario, like, who are you choosing? And she's like, why does that matter? Like, we're all getting out of here. And he's like, oh, you just don't get it.
But then he figures out that she heard that there was going to be like an act of rebellion happening.
Yes.
And then
because
like,
one already happened in District 8.
So he's like, oh my God, wait, I want to join.
Yeah.
Because again, like he wants to fight.
I take backsies, Katniss. I'm staying now.
Yeah.
We got to get all these people riled up. And she's like, no, that wasn't the point of this conversation. Can't hear you. I'm already out. Yeah. So he leaves and immediately causes like a disturbance in like the plaza and is whipped in front of a lot of people.
He's whipped because they caught him hunting.
Was that why?
Yeah, didn't he have like...
Oh, yeah, he had his game pack.
Yeah, he had something on him.
And
because you're not allowed to hunt.
And there's a moment, I really like this moment. And my biggest complaint is I didn't see enough of Haymitch, Peeta, and Katniss together. Because I love that trio so much. And I wish there would have been a moment where all three of them would fight together. But we never saw that. We saw them train. We didn't see them fight together.
Yeah.
But the only thing that was kind of that was when they saved Gale. Because all three of them were like, do you know who we are? You see that pretty house on top of there? Yeah. And the two next to it, that's us. We're squad. You can't hurt someone from squad. Mm-hmm. We only saw that once. And I love that. I ate it up so much. But they get Gale out of there and they take him to Katniss's mom, who is mending him. And she's going crazy because she can't handle her emotions. And
I know that Gale brings it up later. But damn, she really uses her lips when she like feels bad. Like when she feels bad for Gale, like she kisses him. And I don't think she understands. I don't think she gets it. I don't think she gets it.
She doesn't get the teams.
No, she doesn't understand, like, you're leading him on. Like, you're not actually... Well, from what I understood, from what I got, I don't think she's actually in love with either of the guys at this point.
I don't think she knows what it is.
True.
Yeah. Well, she is just 16.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But she did it as a sense of, like, he's hurting and I want to be here for him.
And I just...
It's a secret.
And she even had a thought like, oh, he's so out of it. He probably won't even remember that we had a passionate kiss.
I know. So
a little problematic because, you know, he's out of it.
Yeah. But I think she eventually tells Peeta the whole, like, President Snow
threatened her.
Yes. And I want to get out of here. And he has this thought like...
It's not until... after they're supposed to be visiting all of the districts, and they visit District 11, and Peeta is like, oh, well, we're gonna give you
1 month of our earnings.
Yeah, and everyone's so happy, right? But hello, he doesn't know about President Snow until after this.
Yes.
She tells him, oh my god, President Snow, you know, threatened me, and now you doing this is going to make it seem like, oh my god, we're trying to incite something.
And she made it kind of worse, too, because she added to that, like, Thresh and Rue were amazing people.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know, they were ride or dies. Literally.
They were squad.
See you later, queens and kings. And then they all did the sign of respect.
Oh, and then they killed the person who did it first, right?
Mm-hmm. The person who whistled first. I do want to mention, before they go to District 11, because as victors, they need to go greet every district, because the Hunger Games that's going to happen is the 75th Quarter Quell, which is like an anniversary.
They always do something special.
On the 25th.
Quote, unquote, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Haymitch's was a Quarter Quell. And that's why they did something different for his. And now they're going to be doing something different for Katniss and Peeta.
But I do want to bring up, before they go out, Peeta does go up to her and goes like, okay, I may have overreacted. I remember the end of book 1. That's how he says it. I remember the end of book 1. I may have overreacted when I came off that strongly. Like, you were just trying to survive out there. I have no right to be jealous about you and Gale, whatever's going on with him. None of my concern. I shouldn't have, like, pushed that upon you, but I do want to be friends with you. So tell me what's wrong, best friend. Bestie. While we do each other's nail, braid each other's hair.
God.
What's wrong, bestie? And then she's like, oh my gosh, thank God, because I'm gaining my friend back.
Yeah, she needs friends.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was kind of funny, though, after that whole district thing happens, which was super serious and super scary. They're waiting to go to the next district, and then he's like, So, like, do you and Gale kiss often, though? Mm-hmm. And it's like, how did you know about that? Did he see it?
He said it. She told him, no?
Oh,
that President Snow was threatening her because he saw her kiss Gale. Or Gale kiss her.
Yeah. And she was just kind of like, no, it was only that one time. We don't kiss.
And it wasn't that good.
I know.
Not like you and me in the cave, babe.
Stop. You're getting me so confused. still likes her, but he's not pursuing anything, which I really respect. Respectful bread king. So they go to the rest of the districts, and it's like they can't stop from making people just feel like they need to riot and rebel.
Everything that they say is just like, wait, should I riot?
And isn't that funny? I know, should I?
Okay, we'll do it.
I wasn't gonna, but I have nothing planned. I can't, because like I feel like they didn't really think things through, like, ever. They just went out and was like, I'm just gonna say whatever comes to mind. Even when they got to the end of this, they're told that the quarter quell, the way that they're gonna celebrate it is that they're going to
Have like
get past victors and put them in like a big fight, and then see which one wins. And she was like, oh my gosh, there's only one female victor in 12 and it's me. So I'm gonna have to go back in. And I thought it was interesting that Haymitch and her got picked, and Peeta automatically was like, I volunteer. I'm going in. You take her, you take me. And he goes.
We never said
What?
that he has a prosthetic leg.
Oh yeah, his falsie?
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
never
gosh.
said that.
Because it wasn't mentioned in the movies, and I just kind of
It wasn't mentioned in the movies, from what I remember.
It was a really big deal though, because wasn't that the reason he couldn't swim in this book? Because he didn't know how to swim with that leg?
Yeah.
It was the reason in the movie. It's cold down there.
I don't like being wet.
No, I have a lot of bread on me. It will get kind of
bread and water just don't mix.
They don't mix. Hurry, use this bread as a flotation device.
Yeah. Get it all out. Get it all out.
No, I'm saving him. Okay. Yeah, he does have a prosthetic leg. It's so sad.
I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So what were you saying? Oh yeah. So now they're picking past tributes who have won the Hunger Games to all fight.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, they had like a feast, no? Like a party or something?
Yeah.
And that's when she meets the new game maker, Plutarch. And he like shows her that he also has a little Mockingjay.
Look, a little Mockingjay.
Little Mockingjay.
On my watch.
Yeah, look at my
WATCH. She's like, oh, okay.
She's like, you good or what?
TikTok watcha. Okay, that's it. That's all I want to show you.
I did think it was interesting though when she was talking to somebody there, some elite person, and they were like, oh my god, here, have this so you can throw up and eat more.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember reading that as a kid and her getting angry. I was like, oh my gosh, be angry, queen. Be angry. I'm angry there with you.
Really? As a kid, you thought that too?
Yeah. I don't remember what age I was when this came out.
I don't either. But I didn't read it.
My brain was a little more... My third eye, she was still closed, but she was almost there.
Yeah.
You know? So I still felt that way in this because, oh my gosh, these capital people, like, they don't think.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. Whatever. So during the party, but while they're leaving, she does see the other victors. I love Joanna. I love her so much. I love that she just went on the elevator and she was like, oh, my costume is hideous. And then she just takes it off.
Yeah, she doesn't care. Love a queen that doesn't care.
But they do that to like tease Katniss because she's like very pure. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what are you talking about? I've killed people. And it's like, no, you don't get it.
But she does immediately not like Joanna.
Yeah. She also doesn't really like Finnick, which is a person.
The sugar cube.
Yeah. Because he's very, very handsome. 6'4". Isn't that what they said? He was really tall. And
all of the ladies love him.
Yeah, because he has like capital people following him. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's his swarm of lovers. Mm-hmm. And
So he's very like flirty.
Yeah.
And Katniss does not like him.
Yes. So don't they have like a line they share where she's like, what do we pay for having you in our presence? Like, what do we have to pay for that? And he was like, oh, I charge secrets. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, King, go off. So when they finally go into this Hunger Games, well, before that, during the interview, Cinna makes her a wedding dress because President Snow, in order to convince the districts that what she did in the first game wasn't an act of rebellion.
And it was just because she was just so in love with Peeta.
They were going to have their wedding be televised, but then they were put into these Hunger Games. So when they go to the interview, they dress both Peeta and Katniss in what their wedding outfits would have been. And so she goes out in a wedding dress, and Cinna tells her, like, don't forget, you need a twirl. Like, it's super important that you twirl. And so then she's having her interview moment, and she starts to twirl, and her wedding dress, like, burns, turns black, and she has wings now, and now she's the Mockingjay. And how did that happen?
What do you mean?
How did that happen? Like, was she...
Well, fire was a big part in the first book, which we didn't really bring up, but I mean, her outfit would burst into flames.
I visually don't understand what happened. Because wasn't it a sleeveless? All of a sudden, she's got feathers. Mm-hmm. How did she not feel that? I think she did because she mentioned it's like, oh, it's a little heavy.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't know. You put it on.
It's magic.
Wouldn't you know? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Don't question it.
I didn't even think about that, Queen.
Magic. Oh my god. I don't know, actually.
That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make
sense, but I mean, it looked cool. I'm assuming. Cool. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm sure it looked cool.
And I think it's just so funny, like I said in the first book, how the author always explains, and then the crowd went crazy. They were feral. They were barking and everything. It's like
barking, crying, throwing up.
I know. For real, that's what's happening. And she's like, they're eating it up.
But I mean, they're eating it up, but also, hello, you're not supposed to be the Mockingjay.
Yeah,
you're supposed to calm everyone down. But
oh my god,
accident! It's almost like Katniss never meant to do this. Yes. Like she never meant to be a symbol of rebellion.
I'm gonna backtrack later, but let's quickly talk about what Peeta says. So Peeta goes up. He has a little talk, his little back and forth, and then he goes, and Caesar's like, what's wrong? What's wrong?
What's wrong, Peeta?
It's just I was about to get married to the girl of my dreams, and you know what? I shouldn't be telling you this. Can all of you keep a secret? And they start barking back at him. They can. Mm-hmm. We did get married. We already got married.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my God.
And you didn't invite us.
Throwing up, crying. Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, there's this district thing we do that when you toast together. Toast. I love bread. When you toast together, you're married. And we did that in secret. And, you know, like...
we had no witnesses, but it's okay.
I know. But, you know, we experienced marriage together for a little while. And he was like... Or Caesar says, like, well, at least you experienced it for that little while, right? And he's like, yeah, but I feel bad because, you know, the baby. Me as a kid, I was... No, he didn't. He didn't!
Not my Peeta!
Thoughts?
Wow, he really knows how to put on a show. Oh my God, can you imagine? You just imagine, like, this, thinking that she's pregnant, I'd be like, no, girl can't go. She can't go. She's pregnant. But they still made her go.
They're both really pushing the Capitol. Mm-hmm. Like, they're really pushing what they can do and what they can say. Because he's kind of now putting accountability, like, well, the only reason this baby's going to die is because all of you wanted us here. You know, because then people in the crowd start going like, no, you got to get them out. We don't want them to fight. And then they couldn't, when the buzzer sounds that the interview is over, they couldn't calm the crowd.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention, I'll come right back. I do want to mention right before they had their private trainings where they were watched. So the private interviews, when they're both in line waiting for their private interview, both of them are like, gee whiz, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
I don't have anything planned. And so Peeta goes in there, and instead of waiting 15 minutes, she's out there for like 40 minutes because she figures out later Peeta had taken all of the paints that were there and had painted a big canvas of Rue with all of those flowers. Mm-hmm. And
oh, yeah, because he's a painter.
Yeah. And it upset them, obviously, and they got rid of it before Katniss comes in. And when asked why he did that, he's like, I just wanted them to take accountability for what they've done. So yeah. But we're not supposed to incite a rebellion, right? Oopsies. Oopsies. That's okay.
I think at this point they had already had a conversation of, well, what's so wrong with a little rebellion? Like just a little bit. I think they just reached a point where they just were tired of the charade.
But that was as much as they could do because Haymitch was kind of the one who was like, no, we can't do it. So there was always like them getting angry, but he was like, no, we're not running away. We're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then Katniss, what she did is she got a dummy and tied a noose and hung the dummy up. And on it wrote Seneca Crane because he was the guy who got so moved by the berries thing and was like, oh, just kidding. JK, you both win.
Oh, he was the first game maker.
Yes, who was then executed and replaced with Plutarch, which is the one for this one. And she was just like, I don't know, just kind of felt like it. And it's like, Katniss, you're going to be the face of all this. Do you not see what you're doing? You know? Okay.
Well, it didn't, her actions didn't feel calculated at all.
No.
Which I don't know if that's a bad thing. Because it kind of just like, she's just naturally a leader.
I think.
Not a leader, but you know what I mean?
A face.
Yeah, the face of it.
I think that she does become a little more advised later. Because like you said, she doesn't really understand what's going on at this point. Mm-hmm. She just knows it's not good.
Yeah.
So after their interviews with Caesar, they are, I think they're in the trains. Or no, they're in their where they stay. And they're by the window. And I think they have a day to themselves where they're not really doing anything. And we didn't bring up, but there was this really cute moment between Peeta and Katniss where they're just kind of like, I don't know how much of what we did in the first Hunger Games was fake or not. So, like, how could we be besties if I don't even know what your favorite color is? Mm-hmm. And so she says hers is green, and then he says his is orange, like the sunset. Mm-hmm. So then the day that they have together, they go and get a lot of food, and they go have a picnic up at the top of where they're staying, the roof, and they just stay up there all day. And then she like kind of dozes off, and he wakes her up so she can see the sunset. And then he has like a moment where he's like, if I could just take this moment of us and just live here forever, I would. And she was like, okay, I'll allow it. And he's like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, I'll allow it. Mm-hmm. And then that's just like, it's like their only escape from what's like about to happen.
Yeah.
Which really sucks. He's so in love with her. I think he loves her more than bread.
I don't know. He loves bread.
He does love bread. But he has the intentions that with this Hunger Games, he will get Katniss out. Like, that's kind of his whole thing. And it's
so funny because Katniss has the complete opposite thing. She's like, I think she almost feels like guilty for the way that the first games played out. So she's thinking, oh no matter what, he has to survive.
Yeah.
I'll gladly go so that he will be the last victor.
And Haymitch even admitted to Katniss, like, I did bet on you out of both of you.
Yeah.
I did bet on you. So she was like...
yeah, that's why he never gave Peeta anything. Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't get any sponsorships because Haymitch didn't give them to him.
Yep.
Or wasn't, like, trying to vouch for him. Mm-hmm. So he was like, yeah, I kind of expected you to win.
And so Katniss tells Haymitch, like, you know Peeta's better than all of us, so you have to promise me that we will do whatever it takes to get him to win. And he was like, okay, bet. So going into the games, Katniss and Peeta were planning to only stick with each other. Mm-hmm. Like, that was going to be the plan. So they're in their pods. And
well, no, first, I think it was Haymitch who had told them, like, oh, no, you need to make allies because all of the rest of the victors know each other. Mm-hmm. So they're probably going to be, trying to get rid of you because you guys are new. And so they were trying to make, like, alliances.
Yeah. And I think they tried for a bit, and there were people they were interested in, but they decided at the end that they didn't want to be with any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're in the pods getting ready to go into the Hunger Games, Cinna comes and is doing like last minute touches to Katniss's outfit, and is just like I always say, I'm always gonna bet on you. I'm always gonna bet on you. And then the pod closes, and she notices that it's not immediately taking her up.
Yeah, it's kind of like delayed, and that's when Peacemakers come in and attack Cinna, and she's watching it.
Yeah.
And then that's when it slowly rises.
It was a lot more like gruesome in the movie.
From what I remember, I think it was. I haven't seen it yet, but
from what I remember too, because this felt very ambiguous. Like you don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if he had passed or not.
Yeah.
But she's immediately put into these games, and she's having...
No, because I remember she did say there was a lot of blood.
Okay, maybe I missed that. But he basically looks dead, right?
Yeah.
So she's put into these games, and she's standing on her platform, and is having like a whole like breakdown. But she's like, no, I have to see where I'm at. I gotta check. And she notices that everything is water. So in order to get to the forest section, she needs to swim across.
Dude, this would be a nightmare for me. I would
watch my doggy paddle.
I would be like, damn, I guess I'm dead.
Sorry.
I guess I'm gone.
I actually only know how to float with my head down. So
I don't even know how to float. So
do you know how to swim?
Doggy paddle, but I'm terrified of floating, I guess. So I always, when I try to float, I just go down. I sink.
You get nervous. I'm the opposite. I don't know how to swim. I could probably doggy paddle out of survival because I did once. My one time.
I don't believe you. I feel like you could swim.
I could float really well, but only face down. I'm not going to make it out there.
You can't do it like this? Like
no,
facing
then
up?
I get scared. I get scared.
Really?
Which is funny because we're California girls. We're unforgettable.
Yeah. Daisy Dukes.
Bikinis on top.
Right. I need to practice though.
Isn't it kind of funny that both of us missed that? The swimming era. Because there was supposed to be a year in California where you're legally obligated to learn how to swim.
Really?
Yeah, 4th grade.
Oh, I missed that, I guess.
I know, me too.
Well, there was...
Must have been sick.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to derail us too much, but there was a section in high school when...
Oh, the swimming unit?
The swimming unit, yes. Mm-hmm. But, like, the swimming unit... We didn't even, like... They didn't even teach us to swim. They just threw us in the deep end, but I was still close to the edge, you know? So I did swim from one end to the other.
But that was it. I remember when I did the swimming unit, by the steps, the first 3 days, they made us do the bubble thing where you go down and you cover your mouth and you blow bubbles through your nose. Oh. So you can practice your breath control. Mm. And then we learned how to float. But I never remember learning how to swim or going to the deep end. And I'm like, wasn't that the point? Wasn't that the point?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Both of our swimming units.
But if you put us together, we're at least a mediocre swimmer.
So anyway, yes, I would fail.
Well,
this
Peeta, he was shaking in his boots, in his prosthetic boots.
Oh yeah.
He can't swim. So Katniss is over here, made it to the end. Got her weapons, already killed a man, right? And
had to go back and save him.
I know. Was able to take a little quick 10-minute nap.
Dude, damsel in distress.
I'm all out here.
Wait, Katniss, save me.
Katniss. So then,
do you think... Wait, I have a question.
Go ahead, Queen.
Do you think that Susie made Peeta just a little useless? To kind of be like, she's not the damsel in distress. He is. You know, be a little different. Be a little quirky.
I don't know. I kind of ate it up, though. I just want a man.
Almost died.
I just want a man.
Freaking died. He just splat into a force field.
You know, after Twilight, Edward, Jacob, just these bulky men can run so fast. Sparkling, glitter. Okay, hear me out. You know, just these men, you know?
Men.
No one knew Susie knew what we needed. Just a man we can throw over our shoulder.
I don't want
Put
that.
in our pocket.
I don't want that.
I don't know. I kind of ate it up.
I want my man to be strong.
He
and
is
willing
strong. He can
and
pick
able
up
to protect
flour
this boat.
and make bread.
No,
Man
just
bakes.
protect me. Just protect me. I need a hunter.
What I hope she
That
was
sounds
going
weird,
for.
but
I know, hunt, please.
that sounds weird. I'm saying in the context of the story.
No.
Whoa, that sounds like I'm Team Gale. I'm not. I'm literally not.
No, I'm going to defend you, Queen. I'm going to defend you. Because I feel like what they did wrong with him, with Peeta, was that they didn't, all the skills that they said he had, it never was displayed.
Yes, I agree.
Man didn't know how to swim. He should have seen the dead bodies and ran and jumped on their heads to get to the other side. Man should have figured something. Man should have taken the biggest leap known to man.
Yeah.
You know?
Man should have thrown his prosthetic leg.
Yes.
Swam backwards.
I know. I know how to swim now. Oh, you're right. Take off his prosthetic leg, put it out like a
floater,
a little floater, and he's doggy paddling, slow but steady. He's getting there. That's what should have happened.
Why didn't that
Katniss
happen?
is looking and he's like, "What's up, babe?" He's putting it back on.
Dude, she would be so impressed.
I know. Oh,
In that moment, she would have been like, "Yeah, I'm in love."
I get it.
End of story.
But he doesn't. Finnick, who, when all this mess is going on and Katniss is getting so much done, he holds up his wrist and he's has the bracelet that Haymitch had. And Finnick is like, "We're buddies, right? We're allies?" And Katniss is like, "Slay, I guess we are."
She did not trust him. Though.
No.
She wanted to kill this man. But when she saw the bracelet, she was like, Haymitch is trying to communicate to me, like, okay, trust this man.
Haymitch, inner dialogue. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? So then Finnick goes to save
Peeta.
Me and Peeta.
So
this man's kind of strong.
Wait, Finnick is kind of.
I know.
Wait, why wasn't Finnick a prospect? I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
He's very cute, very handsome.
So
Sure, cute, love that. So
Finnick throws him over his shoulder.
Peeta hit some sort of force field, electric field, I don't remember. And his heart stopped. So he was dead for like a little bit. But
Prenup's dead for like 2 minutes.
So then Finnick started giving him CPR.
Mm-hmm. And he comes back to life.
And at that moment, Katniss was like, oh my God, how will I ever repay him? Because I almost wanted to kill him.
But Katniss has like a full-on breakdown to the point where Peeta's like, okay, this is kind of out of character.
I know.
You good, Queen?
I know.
Queen, out of the both of us, I'm the damsel in distress.
I've never seen
if you fall apart, I fall apart.
I've never seen you cry like this. Are you okay? Do you
he
need
starts crying. So Finnick has a moment where he looks at both of them and he's kind of like, oh,
they are
interesting.
Oh
yeah, he's like, wait, I thought this was all fake. But he kind of knows that he has to play up to it. So he's like, oh no, it's probably the pregnancy, you know, the hormones. And women, am I right, Peeta? Oh my God. He's just a big misogynist.
No, not Finnick. Stop.
I would die.
No.
I'm sorry. No, he loves women. Women's rights. Am I right, Peeta? So he's not a misogynist. So there's a team of four.
I take that back.
There's a team of four. It's Katniss, Finnick, Peeta, and Mags. And Mags is like an 80-year-old woman. She's just out here.
She's just old.
Yeah. And I thought it was funny because there is a way you could see the force field and Katniss can see it.
No, she hears it.
Well, she lied. She can't hear it. She could see it. She just didn't want to tell them about it because if she said it, they would have heard that she can see it and she didn't want them to change anything.
To change her
so
ear.
She's like, oh, you hear that buzzing? And so she's in the front, but I think it's kind of funny because she has like nuts. So she's throwing them towards the force field, making sure it doesn't get closer. Mm-hmm. And as she's throwing them, Mags is picking them up and like eating them.
Yeah.
And they're like, Mags, you might die. And she's like,
she's like, girl, I'm 80. I'm going to die either way.
Mm-hmm. You call this dying? I call this living. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so a clock chimes, or I guess it's like a horn chimes. And all of a sudden, they're in like this fog. Oh, no. They're sleeping. And then the rain comes down.
Yeah.
Rain comes down. And it like blisters them. So it's like an acid type thing. And it makes them convulse. Like they can't use the body part that gets hit. And I just imagine them, they're like basically crawling out of this.
Yeah.
And Peeta gets hit a lot. So Peeta needs to be
carried.
He can't run either because he had just been electrocuted. So Finnick is like, I got you. Peeta's like, oh, hell yeah. So Peeta is getting carried by Finnick, and then Mags starts to slow down. So Katniss tries to carry Mags.
But can't.
And she kisses Finnick and then leaves into the fog, and she immediately dies. I love Mags.
Yeah, I thought that was really sad. And Finnick was really sad by this too. I mean, later on we learned it's because she was his mentor.
She was also Haymitch's mentor.
Oh my god, I literally forgot.
Yeah, that's why they say it in the movie. I don't think they say it in the book, which we'll mention more in the movie later. But he says, oh, if you're going to team up with Mags, just be easy on her because she's someone really important to me. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't say it in the book. That's why I didn't trigger the memory.
Yeah. She's gone though. So I'm gonna speed through this because I really want to talk about the relationships. They are going on, and there's just so much trust with Finnick. Like Katniss is like, this man, he would die for Peeta.
And I would die for him.
So it really does make sense that we're best friends. And they even like prank Peeta like once. They like wake up and they're like just looking at him and he gets scared. Which, by the way, why would you do that in a killing game?
I know. Can you imagine he reacts?
Yeah. So they get really, really close as like a trio, and they start like including other people in. And the two other people that are pretty important is Joanna and what's his name? I don't remember his name.
Bob?
Bree? Bog? Was that his name?
No, that was the third one. Oh my god, what was her name? The one, wasn't there two? The one that would go TikTok.
Yes, and then the other one.
Yeah.
Beatty. And Wyrus.
Okay, so I like that part where Joanna was like, I literally saved these two bitches for you because you liked them so much.
And Katniss is like, what do you mean save them for me? How'd you know we were going to team up? It's like, the Haymitch wrist thing. We're team members. And she's just so confused, like, why Haymitch? Yeah.
Wrist.
I couldn't think of the word. So she's so confused that why Haymitch plans so ahead but wouldn't tell them anything. But she's like,
but
whatever.
Also, she thought it was weird how both Joanna and Finnick would take a bullet for Peeta.
Yeah,
like she would try to save Peeta, but they would beat her to it.
Yep.
And she was like, why do they want to save Peeta so much?
Why are they so obsessed with him?
And then she started thinking, oh, it's because, he's the really good leader. If someone's going to lead, it's going to be Peeta.
Peeta over here crawling. He gets a little splinter. Guys! My man was capable of so much more.
He was,
so
but it wasn't shown.
Why didn't he pick up a tree or something? That's all I wanted to see.
Rip the tree
the barrier
right out.
The barrier,
right
he punches it. Lightning goes in it, but because his muscle's so thick, it comes back out. Susie, take my ideas. They're free. They're for you. I am so sad that nothing like that happened. But I just want to speed up. So they're heading to...
They realize it's a clock.
Yeah, and in every section, different, natural disasters, not really natural, happen in those sections. But they're heading for this tree where the lightning strikes every hour. Don't remember why.
It just does.
And when they finally do get there, Beatty has this idea, if I get this wire and I and the lightning strikes and the wire follows down with it, then we can just kill everyone who's on the floor. So we just got to make sure no one's on the floor when it happens. Something like that. And a lot happens because there's this other guy, his name is Brutus, right? Who is going to fight them. And they're all separated. So Finnick is with Katniss and Beetee. No, Katniss is with Joanna and Finnick is with Peeta and Beetee. And all of a sudden, Joanna, when Brutus comes up, pushes Katniss to the floor and starts ripping her arm out. Like, she's pulling pieces of her arm out.
And it's so crazy because Katniss is so confused. Oh, no, Joanna hits her in the back of the head. And so she's very disoriented. And then she just feels her, like, stabbing her arm.
Yep.
And obviously, like, we know she's taking the tracker out, but Katniss doesn't know that.
But she doesn't really react.
She doesn't really react, and Joanna's just telling her to, like, just stay down. Just chill.
And so then, in Katniss's mind, she's like, oh, they separated us on purpose. Finnick is going to go kill Peeta.
Oh, yeah. She was thinking that.
And so there's, like, this huge thing, but the last thing that happens is Katniss is screaming for Peeta, sees the lightning strike, and she hits the lightning with an arrow.
With, like, an arrow. She, like, wraps the wire around it.
And then the force field in the entire
she aims
arena.
Up.
Yes. And everything in the arena turns off. And she's on the floor. She has no idea what's going on. And then the hovercraft that takes dead bodies comes down and takes her. And so she's thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to use me like they did in the first game with the mutts. They're going to do something to keep me alive, to torture me.
Yeah.
But then Plutarch comes out, and I think Haymitch comes out too.
And I think Finnick was there too.
And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, don't be mad, girly.
Don't be mad. Dude, she was pissed. She immediately attacks Haymitch.
Yeah, because Haymitch says, we got you out, we got Finnick out, Beetee. The Capitol did take Joanna and Peeta. And she's like clawing at his face, angry. But they say that they need her because the rebellion basically starts now.
Yeah, and she's the face.
She's the face. She's the Mockingjay. So there's nothing else she can do but go home at this point.
Well, she's getting treated because she's like in a hospital. And that's when Gale comes in.
Oh, you're right.
And
she doesn't go home.
Gale's like, oh, they bombed District 12. Like, there is no District 12.
Yep.
End scene. The end.
And then Katniss is like, this reminds me of a little song. You can't catch me. No.
You know the Olivia Rodrigo song?
Oh my gosh, I don't.
That's the Songbird one. Ballad on the Songbird and Snake.
What's a very Catching Fire song?
There's no one.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Keep going.
I don't know anything else besides that line.
That's all we need. She literally was catching fire in this. Isn't that crazy?
And catching strays. Poor girl.
Okay, so let's talk.
Team Katniss. Enough of Team Gale, Team Peeta. I'm Team Katniss. Give this girl a break. Like, she just...
Do you
wants to survive?
Queen, be honest. Be honest, honesty hour. Do you think you would have appreciated this as a middle schooler if she was asexual?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Because you brought that up when we talked about at the beginning.
We talked about Hunger Games, no? I don't remember.
I don't remember when we talked about this.
Everything's all a blur. What I had said, let me just repeat it just in case it was in the other one.
Yeah.
I had said that I don't understand how it was a love triangle when she gave me more asexual vibes.
Yes.
Because she seemed so... It could also be that she was just young. But also, like, she didn't really seem that interested at all.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think now I could see that. But I wonder if I would have been okay with that type of character as a middle schooler when at that time it was very much team this or team that.
Like very like love centric.
Because I love the idea of that because everyone has different identities and being able to like diversify your characters is amazing. But
I think I would have been okay with it, to be honest. Like, I don't think I would have understood. But I would have been like, yeah, she's in the rebellion.
I would have been okay with the fact if she was like, I'm not living for anyone else but myself. Because that was what she was kind of
and her family.
Yeah. So, Peeta.
So
Why doesn't he
Peeta.
do anything?
So Peeta. Why is he so damsel in distress coded? Like, why? Is it just to break the norms?
I think you're right with that. I think it is because of that. I think Suzanne Collins wanted to paint like a strong heroine, but I don't think you have to diminish other characters in order to make someone else stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Like Katniss could have still been the same and him carry his weight, but her still be like, no, but I got to take care of everyone.
Yeah.
Man was so strong and we never saw a single thing.
I just felt like what was going through Peeta's head, like I'm assuming he went into the games to protect Katniss, but you weren't really doing much protecting.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't really doing anything. You were more like distracting her.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I agree with you. Like, I feel like you don't have to make your other characters look weak so that she shines.
Yep.
I just wish that I wish he would have been more in the middle, you know? Like, maybe not as strong as her, but just like a little bit more helpful.
Yeah. I would have liked if he had some quality that was better than one of hers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they mentioned that he did. But I don't want to see my man being like, wait, we could paint our way out of this one. Give me my brushes, you know?
Well, he was more charismatic. He was charming. Like, he was better with his words. But that's hard to showcase when you're, like, in the Hunger Games.
And it's also hard to showcase when the author doesn't write dialogue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, because she doesn't really write anything. Sometimes, because I was reading the physical book, the pages were so thin that sometimes I would skip like 2 pages, like they'd be stuck together and I would go back. And I felt like I missed so much because the lack of dialogue makes everything go by so quick.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. This book is so fast paced.
Oh yeah, we didn't catch a break. Like, it was one thing after the other.
So one thing I will say, and we're not there yet, and I mentioned it when we did Hunger Games, but they do compare Peeta with the main character of Songbird a lot.
Which we haven't read yet.
No.
At this point.
I'm very excited to read it.
I'm very excited to experience that movie and that book because I don't know anything about it.
But they do compare them because they're very similar in the sense of, like, they won the Hunger Games, but they didn't have the capability to win alone. Like, they aren't the type of people you throw in the Hunger Games. They're the type of people that can, like, start a movement, not be part of, like, the fighting.
Right.
But I don't know. I hate that Peeta's literally just the one who's just waiting for the hero to come home.
He's like, I need a hero.
I know him. That's what he saw in slow motion, all like rose-tinted glasses while Finnick came back for him.
Oh my God.
I need a hero. And he's like, oh my God.
Finally.
I know.
I just wish he would have done more. It's kind of disappointing, but I do love this book.
Gale in this book came up a little more.
The thing about Gale, I just felt like he was too focused on being the one to be picked, to be chosen, that he never asked Katniss, like, hey, are you okay? Yep. How are you feeling? You know, that seemed very traumatic, very scary. He was so, like, focused on, no, pick me, choose me, love me.
Well, you can kind of argue that out of both of the boys, they didn't respect that. Like, they didn't respect that Katniss was literally about to become the face of a rebellion, but they were more focused on, like, but who are you going to be with? Wait, but you kissed him, though. You kissed him, and it made me feel kind of bad.
Did you like it?
You like him, and I know it. It's like,
say it.
Why are you guys, like, pressing her on this? She's 16. Give her space. But, I mean... Oh, I really like that one part where her and Peeta share a kiss at the beach, and she's like, this one was real.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know that part where Peeta, they were in the water, and he finds a pearl, and he's like, here you go.
Yeah.
That's such a baby thing.
It's so, like, so penguin coded. Really Here's this cute rock I found.
Oh, It's yours forever.
Girl, you would fold so fast, huh?
Oh my god. I eat that up. But it's also kind of like we're in the middle of killing each other.
I know.
Put that shit away.
But also it's very cute, so thank you. He's sweet. He's sweet. I just wish he had strength, but like, where was it?
I fear we might be putting this book down too much.
I love this book.
Out of book 1 and book 2, I felt like this one was a lot stronger than book 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that the games didn't end. I didn't want this to end with a victor. So I'm really glad with the way it ended. And the idea of the rebellion now starting for the 3rd book. Overall,
did a really good job.
I think I would give this book a 4 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'd give it a 4.
I think this is a 5 for me.
Really?
I love this book.
I just feel like the lack of like Peeta doing anything really gets me. As a child, I probably gave this a 5 out of 5.
Well, I might be a little biased because like the movies, I remember so vividly watching this one in the movie theater. I haven't rewatched it again, but I just remember being so like, whoa, this is cinema. This is art.
Are y'all seeing this?
I've seen this shit. Oh my god, it's so good. It's really good.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid either.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But I do remember this one low-key had like a little bit of humor because all the victors all the victors already know what's up. You know, they've all been part of this, so they're just kind of like, look at the Capitol. Get a load of this guy. And I kind of love it.
Just the part that I didn't love was President Snow being so like drama.
Tea, give me the tea, girl.
Drama coded. Like he was so like, give me that tea, girl. Make it juicy.
Low key though, everyone is.
That's very true. That's very true. So I can't really hate it too much.
Do you have anything else to say?
No.
You ready to leave this one out and see?
I'm ready. I'm ready to move on to the next one.
I'm so excited to talk about the last one. To anyone who is listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcast on, thank you so much. If you can please leave a rating of 5 stars and a review recommending us our next read. I think I just need a good standalone. I feel like after reading a whole series, I kind of need to sit with it for a bit.
If you're looking for an extra way to support us just a little bit more, we do have a Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/bookfix. But if you're not looking for something that's monthly, we do also have Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix, or buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix.
If you are watching us, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. This is Hunger Games month. So we are reading the entire series along with Songbird. We already did Sunrise of the Reaping on the Reaping. So go watch that one because I really like that book. And on Thursdays, we are talking about all of the movies. So please join us for that as well.
For this journey, I'm very excited.
If you would like to check out any of our social medias or join our book clubs on Fable and Goodreads, you can find all those links at our link tree, linktr.ee/thebookfix. Thank you.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to read a positive and a negative review coming from Goodreads. Which one do you want?
I'll do positive this time.
Okay.
I got a good one. This comes from Kate, who gave it a 5 out of 5. And she just wrote, I love how it's canon that Peeta has done nothing wrong in his life and must be protected. Girl, I see you.
So this review comes from Paige. They gave it 1 out of 5 and they wrote, hated this. No plot and the main character whines through the first half of the book. Actually, the whole book. She is self-centered and somehow everyone still likes her. I think the author was trying to set the scene for her next book, but this came across as I think she meant movie. Okay. For her next movie, but this came across as boring and uneventful read. I really like The Hunger Games, the first book of the series, but after reading Catching Fire, I find myself liking it less. The author should have stopped with the first book.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. I'm so excited to watch the movies.
Me too.
It's funny how this timeline will work because you'll see us wearing the same clothes for all the books, but different clothes for all the movies.
What if, like, after watching the movies, you're just like Team Gale? Like, Oh, you know what? Liam Hemsworth.
I'm about to gaslight you. I'm not a switcher though. I'm very stuck to my ways.
I would believe you if you fell in love with Gale.
I will say I disliked him less in the books than I did in the movies.
Interesting.
But I guess that's for episode 3. Mockingjay one.
Oh.
Book 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about him movie-wise because I haven't rewatched him yet.
What if we both come in like that day to film and we're wearing our Team Gale shirts?
No, because after what he did to Miley Cyrus, sorry, Liam.
And he's gonna be the new Witcher.
After what he did to The Witcher, it's not even out yet, but I just know.
I know it's not gonna be good.
No, I just know it's not.
So funny.